add Samuel now, and then we'll get into the conversation. Like, people have been waiting for you. I told you, I'm feeling pressured for you, but you'll do justice to it. Yes, Samuel is here. Hi, Samuel.
Hi, Lydia.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I was just telling Victor that you guys are too punctual. Like, you don't know Ghana man's time.
We
Okay, so
we
please.
want to give your audience the best, so we want to
Yes.
be early.
Yeah, that's good. And they've been waiting for you. They are really excited about this conversation. So thank you for honoring our invitation.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we'll get right into it. Victor, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, so basically, first and foremost, I'm a Christian. I'm a husband to a beautiful wife.
Yeah.
A father of two boys. I'm an IT professional, IT enthusiast. I'm entrepreneurial as well.
Yeah.
Basically
Okay. Gone are the days when you ask them to tell you about themselves, they will tell you their favorite food. Okay, Samuel, please tell us. Yeah. Tell us about yourself, Samuel.
I'm Samuel, as you all know. Unlike this man on the other side of the screen, I'm a bachelor, and then I'm a civil engineer, and then a project manager as well, and I'm a Christian like him. My favorite food is fufu. Not gone out of the days.
That's good.
My favorite food
Team
is
fufu all the way.
Yeah.
That's good. But please, what football team do you both support?
Oh, I got heartbroken today. I'm a National fan.
All right.
Yeah, I should have won. I drew.
Okay. And Victor?
I'm a Manchester fan.
Okay. You're not heartbroken.
Oh, for me, I'm actually gone on sabbatical leave for a while. I'm hoping the new owners coming in will revive my interest. Yes.
Okay.
I
Great.
don't like to get my heart broken too many times. You know. So I ask some people there, Charlie, I salute you guys, bro.
Yeah.
We are holding the fort for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll get right into it. We're talking about what men really want from women. And since the day we posted this, people have really been excited and waiting to hear what we are going to see today. So I would like to start with Samuel. Do you think men really know what they want?
Men, we know what we want. We know what we want. We are just not able to probably propagate it well or mention it appropriately, but we know what we want. That's how come we know what is good and what is bad. A good woman and a bad woman, and who is complimenting us well and all that. So we know what we want. It's just that because men are not intentional about certain things, you sit a man down and ask him what do you really want, the man might not be able to tell you anything. But actually, when you do what the man wants, you see his reaction in the positive way. So the answer is men know what they want.
Okay. Victor, do you agree to this?
Yeah, fully. I fully agree. And as you rightly said, indeed, sometimes, men, we don't like to complain. We our minds are precious to us. So sometimes we often don't probably sit down and do a deep introspection and stuff like that. So maybe if we are supposed to meet a random man on the street somewhere and ask him, oh, what do men really want? He might not really give you the answer straight away. He would have to sit down and think and rethink. Yeah. And as it's rightly said, yeah. And that's the reason why men, if you really look at our society, it takes longer for men to get married than women because seriously, finding what you want or what you need is not that easy. All right. And so men want to take their time and be sure before they go into like relationships or even into marriage. And so before a man will say yes, he would have really, taken his time. And you realize that when we talk about people or people ignoring red flags in relationships, I think I bet you. I stand to be corrected, but I think it's more in women. For men, when we see red flags, no, Charlie, yeah. But for women, that's why sometimes you see that women don't really know what they want because sometimes the red flags are really there. They just still going for. But men know what they want, and so yes, we'll take our time to make some decisions.
Okay, so it looks like you guys just enjoy being mysterious instead of just spelling out that, oh, I want A, I want B. You'd rather we probe and dig before we find out. We've gone to school already. We've done all those academic things. Why do we have to come and be in relationships and still have to be doing all the research? Why can't you just be straightforward? Do you think that, Victor, let me start with you. Do you think that men find it hard to ask for what they want?
Well, I think it's dicey. It depends on exactly what we want. For instance, if it's about money, men find it very difficult to ask, women for money. All right. But if it's about food, yeah, we'll ask you about food. Yeah. So there are some things that we would directly go and ask. Quite easy. I think basically apart from money, everything else should be quite easy for men to ask for.
Really?
Yeah.
I think the only thing men find easy to ask for is sex. Everything else, you have to drag it out of them.
Oh, are you sure? For food? Okay, so the thing is sometimes it depends on the feedback we get. And so it makes we the men kind of be reluctant to, tell you what we want. For instance, your wife will ask you, oh, what do you want to eat? Oh, Charlie, I'm thinking of some English breakfast and and yeah, there you see yeah.
We are going to do the work.
or I want a bunu and some nice fufubi. And the response you get is not positive. So you ask us, oh, anything goes. And yeah, that's what probably you might think you don't really ask for what you want. Yeah. So sometimes it's the response that we get from asking what we want. Yeah.
Okay, Sam, would you agree? That is our response and all that.
Well, I agree, but my take on that is maybe is the way naturally men are brought up. Men are, the moment you start in a relationship pushing what you want on the woman, hey, I want it this way. You are the one nagging, and you literally are seen as the lady. You are seen as the woman. You are supposed to be the hard guy, even when you are hurt, even when you feel bad, and even when you want to cry. You are the hard guy. You understand, and so it takes time for the man to cripple into the situation where the man to crawl into the situation where he wants to actually tell the wife or the girlfriend that, oh, hey babe, I want this way. Can you do this for me? This is what I want. This is what makes me happy. It's more of the environment. Maybe elsewhere in the Western world, it's easy because, well, they are brought up naturally to not chastise the other, just give people a listening ear. But here, a man is built in that way, a woman is built in that way. So we grow up with it, and gradually it's eaten to us. But really, if you sit a man down to literally prick his emotions small and ask him to tell you everything he wants, he will be able to. But on the face of it, on kind of because a soft guy.
Yeah.
Oh, the hard guys are not So then I think that I'll not even ask you. I'll say that men are responsible for women always coming first in relationships, because you want to look a certain way. You want to be perceived as like you're strong. Hey, you're not vulnerable. Like you can just pick yourself up, and so the woman's feelings will always come first. You guys are responsible for that. I'm not even asking. I'm saying
no, we are not. We are not actually.
Then who is
we are not.
responsible?
But
Because
so the point is the way women want to be understood, right? In a certain way. Yeah, when they have emotional issues, when they even have mood swings, they expect the man to easily know what's going on. Women, I would say, women also are not taking their time to literally understand the man. So you expect the man to know. Don't you know that this, when I'm like this, when I say no, it's not no, it's actually yes, or when I say yes, it's actually no. But women really do not invest or take their time to also know what the man actually wants. It's more or less, look, there's a simple thing. When a woman wants to buy something for a man, right? It's more or less like the standard, like, oh no, oh, he doesn't. It's more or less like conventional. When you ask 11 men, they will tell you, what's the popular one? Singlets and boxer shorts.
You need singlets, don't
What?
We have our singlets already. So the time to also understand that, hey, he's a man, oh, he also has needs. He also has.
But Samuel, the singlets is the one thing that's closest to your body, closest to your heart's region, and that's where we want to be, on your heart. So we'll buy you things that will be close to you.
So a man also, men also go on buying panties and all that for women.
You want to be on our mind, so you have to buy us the big waves and things. Yeah,
you see, but sometimes it shouldn't even be the big thing. What I'm saying is sometimes it shouldn't even be the big thing, but maybe along the line, the woman has even identified what her man actually needs. So on the bed, because men also like to be surprised, huh? Men really enjoy men really enjoy surprises, and so when it is trivialized that, oh, we have cried, because we don't show the emotion. Maybe when you buy us a comb, the emotion is the same as when you buy us a car, literally, because our face might look the same, but actually there is appreciation. You get it? But women literally are like, we cry, man, cry when you see that. So why? But maybe he has a reason why So literally, get to know. Take your time also in friends, because the man, from the time he met you, the woman, is literally trying to impress you. From the time he saw you, chasing you and all that, it is all about impressing the woman. What can I do to make him? Until probably when he gets you, and because it's a project. Now he's done with the project of winning your heart and marrying you. Now the next project is probably making sure he has money, so you will not get that same reaction that he was giving him when he was chasing you. But men really invest. Hey, when I went to her, she was complaining about this. So what the next thing to do is, okay, let me make sure I get it for her the next time I'm going there. Men take their time, but because women are on the receiving end, it's more or less like, let me see what he will do. So when you come together and you also have to understand and do something for the men, it becomes a bit of a problem. It takes a while for women to really understand what the man wants.
Victor,
but to add also,
generally
women are more expressive than men. Men and Kasapi, we don't really talk much. We don't really express too much. And so it may seem that women put themselves, or they seem to be more important, in relationships, just because they are the ones who express more. The one who, if you miss her birthday, you don't call her on her birthday, or she's the one going to escalate the whole issue. But men, we can focus with John Boy, yeah. So women are most expressive, all right. And secondly, to our society puts that pressure on men. as you know, putting women first before us. So yeah, this guy it's not really our fault. It's not at all. Yeah.
I do not agree, but well, as you are saying, we are continuing the conversation. And the boat is saying that when a woman listens to a man, she will always know what he wants. Okay,
Exactly.
we'll
Yeah.
listen. We are learning. But I think that men allow women to get away with a lot. Because I can cry, because I can throw a tantrum, because I can scream and get moody. So even when I'm in the wrong and I resort to those things, then the man will be like, "Oh, then I'm sorry. Like, babe, let's just forget about it, you know." But don't you think that you guys have to be a bit firmer? Because I don't think that I think women get away with too much in the name of she will get angry, she'll get upset, you know, because we would express our emotions. So even when a thing is hurting you, when you know that this one she should apologize, you still go ahead to apologize just to bring peace. Because, for instance, let me use my husband and I. My husband doesn't know how to hold a grudge. So if something is wrong and I get moody, he would want to patch things up, even if it's not to talk through the thing. But I don't want to just like, "Oh, I'm sorry, that's it." No, I want to say that you did this and this and this, and it's paining me and it's hurting me, and you know. But he doesn't want to, like, you know, go through all those things, and so quickly he wants to mend fences. But the person in like, let you feel the pain I'm feeling. And so usually you see the man always coming to apologize just to smooth things over. But should that be the case? Why don't men, or some men, not all men, lay things on the table like, "Hey, let's sit down. You did this. This is what I didn't like. And let's talk it out." If she wants to throw a tantrum, if she wants to go without talking to you for a while, what are you afraid of?
Lydia, what you're asking for is war.
War.
The whole world
Oh,
I
it will
tell you.
escalate.
See, and if men are supposed to express everything that goes on in their mind there, I mean, there'll be total chaos everywhere. Okay. But for the fact that men want peace, every man wants sound mind. Every man wants that kind of mental health that can keep him going at work. To make him think of, you know, greater or more important things, for lack of a better expression. And so, at very point, I mean, we want to just, you know, kill everything that will make us, you know, go haywire in our minds. And that is for that reason that we'll probably want to, you know, just kill every form of argument before it erupts. And women need to understand that. And so sometimes, if you have a partner, all right, always, you know, nagging or being so loud about petty issues, that's where you find the man probably going out, maybe with friends, probably drinking more, probably might end up with another woman and stuff like that, just to get that sanity from the mind. So yeah, so you see, as I said earlier, men are less expressive, and so sometimes when he speaks or he reacts in a particular way, that way or that speech is actually a very loud one. It speaks a lot. Women really don't, as you are saying, like per se, we have to be so aggressive about it or so emphatical about it. And I mean, if I tell you I don't like it, I don't like it. I don't have to tell you that I don't like it. So I don't have to raise my voice. I don't need to do that for you to understand. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it's just for the sound mind of ourselves. Yeah. Samuel, what do you think?
Yes, so to add to what you are saying, yeah, I agree. We imagine the man always taking the fight to the woman. You understand? Look at how, because the woman will not budge. It's more or less like, then there is always this chaos. So most of the time, men do not want a situation where there is fight, confrontation, or there is something that has even kept us not talking. And what is it? Is it something that could be resolved? Is it something that if I say sorry, everything will be okay? Sometimes we are proud. We will not say the sorry, but when we realize that, hey, the situation is getting out of hands. Wifey is not talking to me. It's a day we are not talking to each other. Like it takes hard men and very men that don't really care to keep quiet and say, okay, let's go a week. Okay, let's go a month. When it's getting there, then it means that the man is already losing it and probably looking for options. But really, if you want it and you want it to work, you realize the woman is not even apologizing. You would bring it forth and either address it and let her know what she did wrong, or you would even apologize for the situation. As for the fight, if I give you 1,001 chances, you fight, you argue, it won't end, because even when we are talking it out, there are house explaining my sentences are even being marked and they pick certain pointers, and even those are other fights.
We have to
before the main action.
We have to.
So
because what you are saying and what you are implying are different. So we need to tell you. We need to show you.
But yeah, you see, on this particular topic of fight, right? Let me just chip in something here about how women fight. And so I explained this thing to my partner, and I think we all should learn how to do that. Now, if you, Lydia, Nana gives you, or hurts you, right? Probably you might not even know that he's hurt you. Okay, and so probably you try explaining to him and maybe a bit defensive. Usually we become defensive because whatever you're trying to do comes out as accusative, and that's what women really do. And so instead of telling us the pain and how we are feeling, you're actually accusing us of what we've done.
Okay.
Sometimes, yes, we do understand that we've done this, like we've wronged you. Okay, you've done this to hurt you. And you see, that guilt alone is taunting our mind as men. All right, and then you come again and have you done this? Don't you have sense? Didn't you know I'll be there? And the more you are doing this and rubbing it in the man's face, the more you are kind of telling him he's stupid. I mean, he doesn't have sense. Like, you are really hurting the man in a way. But at the end of the day, what do you intend to achieve? If you want to probably break up the relationship, that's when you can go ahead and do that. But if you really want something positive out of it, you let a man know what the pain, is doing to you. So, for instance, I stepped on your leg, and I think, to me, I feel the way I stepped on it shouldn't run around the kind of screaming and screaming. But for all you know, because you've wearing your shoes, your office shoes for a while, you have some pain inside, which I don't know. And so you can go ahead and tell me, oh, Victor, anytime you step on my leg, that's how I feel. It goes deep. Explain the pain. Don't go, ranting on what I have done, accusing me and all that. Explain the pain. Explain how this makes you feel. And I think that's a good way of communicating with your man. Yeah. And when you do that, he actually understands you, and he decides with you. Yeah.
But you people are not being fair. You want us to communicate, but you don't want to communicate what you really want. Is that fair? You don't. I think that you guys have had a men's support meeting, and you've compared your notes and are saying the same thing. Okay, but in view of that, do you think we women ignore your needs sometimes?
Yes. Most of the time, women ignore men's needs. Yes. Yes.
Okay, let's hear you.
Because men want acceptance. The men. So from childhood, the man is so attached to the mother, right? Who has accepted him no matter what. Even when your dad is angry with you, it's your mom that will draw you closer to herself, accept you, probably even give you tips on how to behave before daddy is coming home. Literally, mother has given you all those, has given you that acceptance, gives you that shield. Now, you literally grow up, you get into a relationship, or you get married, and you meet a woman. Women are fixers. Women want to fix you, and in fixing you, they find it difficult to accept you for who you are first, and then now go into how to fix you. So there is always a conflict with the woman when she's trying to correct the man. More or less, like her advices are more like, do it immediately, change from this to that, because you have not dressed this way. I'm even you get angry with the man for dressing the way you don't want. You get angry with the man.
We have a picture in our minds.
You get
and we want you to fit in.
You see, but I say women are enchromized. They want freedom now. They want, but you first have to accept the guy. The guy is a pet. Is a mommy's pet from childhood, and I say that because naturally you have this care from the parent, from the mother. But when you come to the wife's side, the wife is more or less like, I need this in a man. I need my man to be like this. Don't you think we should be like? Sometimes they go as far as comparing you to their friends' husbands or their friends' boyfriends. They go as far as comparing you to their pastors and all that, which is not fair. Take your time to understand the man himself, the man you are dating. Then you can go gradually into fixing him. But I don't come with a marking scheme that this is what I need in a man. Okay, number one, checked. Number two, not checked. Change tomorrow. You have to, it won't work.
24-hour notice.
So that acceptance, most women don't pay attention to it, and then in the end, it's always like a battle. I need you to be like this. Okay, the man says he won't budge, and then it's a fight. Why are you not doing things this way? The man says no. But if it's a calculated step to understand and accept him first, and then take your time to talk him out, because women are good advisors, but if you are not advising to rather correct the guy, but if you are advising to chastise the guy, he won't accept it. So that aspect, women really don't pay attention to it. Yes, you are radical changes, but take your time to understand the guy first before. So I think that's like women are really not taking their time to really understand the men.
Okay, we'll take that under advisement and come back. Victor, someone has mentioned the first thing that you guys want acceptance. We should accept you as you are, rough edges and all, before we proceed with our magic wand to change you. What else do you think women need from, what else do you guys, men, need from women?
Okay, so basically, to top up what he just said, right? Every man grew up in a particular home, okay, and we all grew up in different ways. And what makes so basically with doing stuff for a man or with what men want, what you need to understand is basically two things, right? One, what makes him feel like a man? Whatever thing that makes him feel like a man is the first thing. And two, the other thing is what he wants or what makes him happy. All right, what makes him feel like a man is different from what makes him happy. And that's something that women need to understand. And so, as I said earlier, we all grew up from different homes. In a particular home, a man doesn't go to the kitchen. That's what makes him a man. A man is the one who gives the orders. The man is the one who sits at the table and waits for the wife to be served or wait for the ladies to serve him. In other homes, a man to be a man or to show that you're a man, you're the one supposed to do the hardcore work in the house, like taking out the trash, like probably getting the plumbing stuff fixed, changing light bulbs, like doing the hard work stuff at home. These are two men from two different homes, and you need to understand your man, the home he's coming from, and what makes him feel like a man in that home or in that society he came from. And that's the number one thing.
Okay.
Number two things are the others, knowing what he wants, right? But the first one is more important because once you make a man feel less of a man, it becomes a very big problem. Sometimes it creates scars that cannot be, easily erased. And so the whole point is making him feel like a man. Making him feel so it is it differs as I'm saying. For some, if you allow him to talk and make decisions and be, a bit bossy or something, yes, he feels like he's a man. He's doing stuff. For others, he would want you to, jojo with him and go back and forth. At the end of the day, try and agree with him a bit. So it's quite different. But all boils down to making him feel like a man. Yeah.
But how would we know what makes you feel like a man if you don't tell us what that is?
Well,
because like you started, we all grew up in different homes. Even in the woman's home, there's a certain perspective or a picture of who a man is. And so she might be projecting that on you, that, okay, this is what my father wanted from my mother. Or this is what I saw my sister's husband or my auntie that I lived with, her husband. This is what her husband expected from her. Miss Oranopa, my hot water is in the bathroom. I read my newspaper a bit with my coffee. I go and take my shower. I'm off. You take care of the kids. Another person's home, they sat together. They draw the menu together. In the home that I grew up, we draw the menu together, and that is what we're going to eat. And everybody takes part in the chores. It's not just like the woman doing the kitchen stuff. It's everybody, all hands on deck. So I would come into my relationship or my marriage expecting the same of any man that I'm with, because that is how I was brought up. So where do we marry the two? Where, if you don't tell me that, okay, this is my view of what a man is or what a man wants, how can I, because it's all about compromise and adjusting. It's not only the ladies, what the lady wants. And I think men always let the ladies have their way when it comes to certain things. But I think that there should be a point where we merge and we agree that, okay, let's drop this, let's proceed with this. How would we be able to come to that compromise when we don't hear from you guys?
So I think I want to take this. Let me come in.
Sure.
So what I picked from what you were saying is you want the man to tell you what he expects of a woman. You see, men are not that calculated like that. We are not calculated. We don't sit down to put pen on paper, and we like to tackle situations as and when they happen. So maybe you are entering a new relationship with a lady and you are asking the lady, what do you want in a relationship, or how do you want your man to be? The lady would be able to tell you so many things. Me, I want a guy that is a helper, a guy that will not ignore my needs, a guy that, the lady can go on and on and on and on. But if you ask the guy, what do you really want in a woman? Most men will say, as when it happens, I'll let you know. Or as we go on, if there is anything, I'll let you know. Now, when the man says that, it's your response, because it's not as if he doesn't know, but he wouldn't be able to recall these details because they are not kept here. There are things that will happen and he will be able to prompt. But then sometimes when he has not even prompted, you see these signs clearly. Because a man also is not able to keep a straight face or is not able to keep a smiling face when he actually means we are serious. A man will show you he's serious when he means he's serious. So some of these things, you pick them. Sometimes he will come to you personally and mention to you that, hey, this food, I don't really like this food, or is this type of food I like. Oh, I don't really like the way things are kept in the, as and when it is when he sees it, then he talks about it. If you see it's in most men, if you tell him to sit you down and tell you what he wants, well, and because he won't know, he won't remember. He might even only mention something that immediately happened to him that he wasn't happy with it. But so women, if you see the man that way, because if you do not see the man that way, you always take advantage and say that, oh, you didn't tell me, so I just did it the way I know it to be. But you would have to pick it up from how he does his things, how he talks to you, how he relates to others. These are very. Sometimes if you do not even understand, you have to ask that. Oh, this thing I normally know they do it this way, but only you do it this way. Why? He will be able to let you know what actually he wants in the situation, not give you a list from onset.
But why don't you keep a list? Every woman has a list. Every man should have a list.
We are different.
List is for money.
we are different. So it brings us to the nature of the woman and the nature of the man, right? The nature of the woman is all this subconsciousness, being very detailed. Men are just two. The men have only two colors in their minds, black or brown. That's why most of our shoes are black and brown, right? Women can tell you blue and even the shade of blue, and be able to tell you the shade of purple. Like, these are the details women have. So when you are telling me to put all these things down, today you have done something to me, then I write it. I know a lady that actually has a book that is writing everything that the man did to her from start of the relationship till now that she doesn't like.
Okay.
Instead of writing all these things, why don't you deal with it? Why don't you tackle the issue as and when it happens? Oh, babe, this particular thing, you did it this way. Or the man also would rather tackle it that way, that, oh, this is what happened. We have to come back and talk about this. Let's deal with this way. Really, it might not be the best in most situations, but it helps us also the stress, because the stress with work, the stress with everything we are doing. Initially, I told you, chasing you is a project. Now, after chasing you, I have to go to the next project, which is still making money. So it is one thing at a time. After that project, I don't want to take my mind back to that again. Now, as and when the situation happens, we take it at a time. And so that's
Victor, you wanted to add something to that before we move on?
Yeah, I totally agree 100%. You see, what you're asking for means that then our work and our vision for the family and everything will be affected. Because trust us, Sammy and I will be thinking of the way forward in life. We are thinking of, putting up properties for our family. We are thinking of, having a comfortable life for our wives and our children. We are thinking of, like big stuff. And
we are not big stuff.
No, I mean the issues. No. Like, for instance, you see, for us,
getting an anniversary is a big stuff. It shows that the love is dropping.
No. Don't get me wrong. We are talking about you telling us. I mean, we telling you what we want, right? We usually don't focus too much on ourselves because there's a bigger picture out there. Trust me. I mean, men think about their wives or their partners' birthdays even more than their own birthdays. Mm-hmm. Right? We put you in front. We put bigger things in front of us. So if it's a small fight, I mean, something that is something not too serious, and we talk about it once, and we don't expect us to put pen and paper down, always be hammering it. No, we have other things to hammer. You see, we have other things to focus our energies on. So for me, I think what women can do is that if a man says, I don't like this, take it that he's serious, whether he's smiling or he's joking. If he says he wants this, take it that he's serious, whether he's smiling. He doesn't have to rant over it. And also sometimes you would see, as Sammy said, you will see by his expressions. Maybe you cook a particular food for him and you realize that the way he's laughing and behaving is quite different from any other day. And so you put that one down and be like, okay, now this is what he wants. Yeah. So take those small cues from us.
People are asking us to be mind readers.
That's big things for our minds too. I mean, they are big stuff for our minds. So yeah, we are the ladies too are part of it. So yeah, woman are doing
You know what? We're going to have this conversation, a ladies' version in October. And I've seen that the one of the panelists is here commenting a lot, so that conversation will be fire. But I think that men need to communicate more, like use their words more, because we cannot, just like how you cannot go into our heads and figure out what we are thinking or what we expect you to know, I think that it's only right that a man will tell you that do so and so. You know, like that enthusiasm, especially before you get married. At least the man is more present in the relationship than after you get married, and then they are going chasing the next phase of their project like summer. But I think you should use your words. Maybe on once a month, sit down, analyze things with your partner, find out how's it going. You know, what can I do to improve? This is what I've observed. Because usually when you come into a feedback session with your partner and they are telling you what they don't like, you should be able to also give them some feedback that, okay, I don't just tell them you like everything. Why don't you also give them some good feedback? So it's not like they are the only ones nagging and pointing things out.
You know, Lydia, sometimes it's even about the reaction of the women when you are even giving them constructive feedback. We have already established here that men want the peace. At least being in the house today, that when you scan through the day from maybe it's a Saturday, from Saturday morning till Saturday night, there were no issues. It's a bingo, like you hit jackpot that day. It's
your football team will rule it for you.
You know, it's peace of mind. So why do you go and
stay up things?
Break things? No. Really, what we are looking at is the situation. Have we resolved it? Are we able to resolve it when it came in? And then if the woman actually has proven herself that when we have feedback session and I'm hitting you hard on what you have done, because there are feedback sessions that I must be hard because I need to make you understand. The woman should prove her maturity in that side of taking the what do they call it? Of taking the shots, the bullets. Because I am telling you these things not to hurt your feelings. So take it from emotions, right? Let's look at the situation as it is. You did this, you did that, you did that. I do not like them. Let's not start. But then sometimes you finish addressing an issue and you even feel bad addressing the issue because how the house has become. It's like you are judged there.
The truth of the matter is sometimes you may have. I mean, my wife and I, we have feedback sessions. We are talking about one topic. You know, as may want to stay in that topic, deal with it, and
move on.
Totally like have a solution to it. But in the middle, or like just a quarter way into the topic, a different topic comes up. Then she directs the whole argument here, and it becomes very exhausting. Yeah, because we are talking about problem A, then you end up bringing problem B, C, D, 5. I mean, it becomes so exhausting. And so sometimes we just want to play it cool. We don't want to really talk much, just stay up a lot. For me, what I basically do is that sometimes I look for the right time. What if I know is that at this very moment in my wife's life or in our relationship, she wouldn't really get to me when I bring up this issue. I keep it. I don't really talk about it. I manage it until the time I realize that she's a bit objective in our arguments and in our discussions. Then I raise it up. So yeah, truly, sometimes it's from your reaction, and it will keep us quelled until we realize that indeed we are ready to be objective and accept and not really take things. Women take things too personal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
on a lighter note, manage your manager.
Yeah, I know. Right.
So you are a manager, so we are managing our manager.
Yeah. So ladies on this live session, there are ladies saying that men don't know what they want, so they'll soon you do everything for them and they'll still go and look for another option. But ladies, this is what the men are saying. They are saying that we should accept them. They are saying that we should be ready to accept whatever criticisms or feedback they have for us, because they don't communicate because of how we react to certain things. And so please, going forward, let's try to be very objective. You let them say what they want, let them speak their English, listen, and then if really, I'm not saying they are right, but if really what they are saying there's some truth to it, then we can talk. But please, no relationship will thrive without communication. So if your partner, I think a week or so ago, I made a post about being a safe place for your partner. If your partner doesn't feel like they can really be honest and vulnerable with you, then like you are doomed. Like the relationship is not going to move forward. So we need to allow them to speak. When they speak, we need to hear them, not just like they're listening and then that's it. You need to be present. You need to hear what they are saying. Look beyond the words that they are speaking. Look at their facial expression, the emotions that they are communicating, so that it will be easier for them to communicate next time there's something to speak about. They are men of few words, we hear, but we will see about that. So, gentlemen, some of you are not yet in the marriage phase, but I'm sure you would still know something about this. Do you think that women are more responsive when you're dating them, like they're more into the relationship, ready to make things work, put in more effort when you're dating than when you get married? Do you think that is the case? I mean, you might have heard stories, so both of you.
Yeah, I've heard stories, and I think that is the case. And even if you put your ear on the ground, you hear a lot of things. You see also that most women literally think that they've landed, right? So
I'm going to be landed.
So if I go back to the project aspect of this, because for me I've been to projects, so women also see the dating aspect and getting you to marry them as a project. And when that project ends, they demobilize. Demobilization is who they stop dressing the way they used to. Most of, I'm not saying all women, but most women stop dressing the way they used to, stop doing the very, very, very little things that they used to do to attract the men when they were ready, when they were in the relationship. Literally, more or less like the boundary she was guarding during the relationship time, and she was consciously doing things to mark those boundaries. She stops because she knows that, okay, now I have drawn an invisible boundary around him by putting the ring on his finger and him putting the ring on my finger. So that boundary, everybody knows. But the boundary, people want to even take it off and also have their share in your man. So you should also, that's why the marriage would have to thrive when we are deliberate about making sure that we make the men really more attracted, or we make ourselves attracted to the men. It's not attraction by how you look, right? It's not just how you look, but it's more about how you are keeping the home. They say there is something I wrote down some time ago. Let me see. They say that attention is high and retention is low in this modern world. Attention, women want more attention. So literally before marriage, doing everything to get the man's attention, they're doing everything. But then when they get the marriage, retaining the marriage is low now. So women should invest more in the retention aspect. Don't lose guard. The very things, keep doing it and make sure that the man is still interested, not to be looking elsewhere.
Victor.
Yeah, totally agree. So during courtship or dating, I mean, women put in a lot of effort. They are very, very responsive, and I'm scared to say, but especially when they feel their clock is ticking. Yeah. But once the ring is on the finger, I mean, they feel that is it. I've landed, and so they make a lot of excuses. The one very common one is the kids. The kid and the kid. Sometimes you're having sex, and you'll hear someone's child crying somewhere, and they'll be like, "You need to hear the baby crying." Meanwhile, you know, yeah, and the women tend to be less.
Victor, wait.
Yeah.
The Bible says that children are a gift from God. If God has
Yeah.
given you a gift, and here it's crying, should you put your husband before? Please go on.
Oh yeah. But a gift doesn't mean that. I mean, if I'm supposed to give you, or someone gives you a gift from, let's say, from work, and you worship the gift more than probably even your husband's gift, or even more than your husband, I mean, how is he going to feel? Yeah. So I mean, as I was introducing myself earlier, I mentioned I was a husband first before a father. You know, we are together first before the kids came in. You know, there was us before anything else came in. Once marriage comes in, everything becomes an excuse, you know, I mean, to perform or to do what you used to do. And that's something that I think is a really, really, you know, serious thing in marriages. And that's something that ladies who are, especially who are not yet married, should really pay attention to. Sometimes it's not intentional, you know, sometimes it's unconscious. Gradually, you realize that you are fading out. Gradually, you realize that you're not dressing the way you need to dress to impress your man because, I mean, you've already impressed. But, I mean, men will love to see their wives in the house in, like, very short mini skirts, you know, and stuff like that. And, yeah, recently a lady told me that she's realized that after people get married, right? And,
Yeah.
I mean, when men and women grow up, the men become more, you know, fresher than the ladies. And I think sometimes it's because sometimes a man you know, so yeah, you need to step up the game, keep the game up, and be what you used to be when you were courting or dating. Yeah.
When I was courting or dating, I was not cooking, bathing children, cleaning the house, making sure that all the lights are on before we sleep. So I have time.
Should we also mention the things that we didn't used to do?
We are all working. So tell us what you are doing differently. But you see, you guys, you've committed yourselves. You said that when you finish chasing her and you get her, you move on to the next project. We are also doing the same. We're moving on to the next thing, the kids, the career, whatever. We're moving on to the next thing. So I think you should understand.
No, that's not your nature. That's not the woman's nature. So don't try to be like the man. You see, we first started by saying that we don't want to be like the women. So we don't like to be nagging and be making their comments every day. Yeah. No. So the project aspect of us is deficient. Like, it's literally a negative to us, right? You have the positive to multitask, to be able to do so many things. But it's a negative, but we should accept it. Oh. It's a negative, but we should accept it. No, so what I'm trying to say is, yes, you don't need to accept it. Yes, gradually we might also try to, because it's just literally the negative aspect of, okay, take care of the baby, go and cook and all that, those things we are not able to do. But say, you understand? But gradually, when the woman is showing the man the way, most often than not, after giving birth to 2 or 3, the man is able to also hold the baby, and if the woman is not around, be able to cook, be able to mop and all those. It's something that we grow to learn. But from childhood, we are doing that one thing at a time. So, but you girls have the strength of doing those multiple things. So build on yours, because you guys are more powerful than men. Women. Today you are agreeing.
They don't know that. They don't know that.
Women are stronger, powerful, wiser, everything than men. Any woman that tries to compete with his husband, her husband, is literally doesn't know what she has. Because if you know what you have, you won't even compete with a guy. You always beat him to it. But you always let us take the lead. We come into your territory, and we even take you by surprise, because most often than not, you want to be like us. Don't be like us. Build on your strength. That particular strength of multitasking is awesome. So you were talking about cooking and all those things. You people, you were born and you were even given biological cooking utensils and stove to prepare food for
I
babies.
know.
The two boobs that you have in front there, you started cooking and giving the babies food. So naturally, you should, if you are cooking for us, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, but
Right?
you see, even that biological process, a man plays a part. So in the is it physical ones too, or the other way around, you should still contribute.
That one, the man doesn't play any part. The part that he plays was to give you more burden.
Ingredients.
He even gave you more burden.
Ingredients. You added to the ingredients.
He even gave you more
ingredients. That meal can never be made without a man's input. So I think men also need to help us. You know, some women let themselves go because they are too burdened. Like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And so sex comes second. You know, everything else comes second. They just want to, they have to prioritize, and they do it to the best of their ability.
Lydia, let me tell you something. Okay, let me tell you the reason why women end up not doing, being less responsive. The truth of the matter is, in my problems, you know,
okay,
women like to complicate everything, every simple thing.
Oh.
So, for instance, right? Let's say you want to have a good time with your husband. I mean, this evening, maybe you guys have even planned it. Actually, they know. Oh,
why is my husband?
I have to cook.
Laughing.
Come here. You know, then you're now bringing cooking. You're now bringing the kids, where you can do simple stuff like buying food from the restaurant or buying food out, or pushing the kids to your parents or to someone, and making life very, very simple. Women would like to complicate everything.
Because we think that's what you want. We think that you want us to cook. You want homemade meals. So if that's what you want, tell us.
Oh, not every time. We don't want complicated stuff.
So Lydia, let me come to your side a bit, women's side. We talking about ideally what's supposed to be done, but we shouldn't lose focus on the fact that some men do not care even when they are burdening the woman to the max.
Okay.
And if you want the best out of your woman as a man, you should also know when she's overburdened. She doesn't even need to speak. You should know. That's why it's more or less like an assistance kind of a thing. Both of you are helping each other. Scratch my back, I scratch your back.
Okay.
So men should stop looking at women as they are supposed to do this, and because they are doing what they are supposed to do, I'm not coming in. Let me also do. No. The fact that you say you love the person and you care for the person, you should also understand when she's overburdened. Why can't you hold the child for a while for her to go and do her hair and look nice for you? Then you go outside and go and look for somebody that doesn't have a child and now has done her hair fine. You are attracted to her, but you literally prevented the lady from going out on a Saturday to go and do her hair because the baby is always with her, and so many other things. So men too should stop looking at these things and then pay attention to the women when they are overburdened. Too much burden on women too as well.
Okay, thank you so much. So I want to ask my last question, and then I'll let you both go because I know you have other things to do as well. I want to just find out, you know, sometimes a man, yes, they have certain things in their mind or on their mind, they want to communicate, but they feel like when they say it, like you said, it's like you're nagging, you're complaining, so you don't really want to put everything out there. What advice would you give to men so that you can also communicate your needs? Because sometimes we really miss it. We don't know what you want. We think we are doing everything right, but that is not even important. Like Victor, you were just saying, sometimes you don't want a home cooked meal. You just want time with your wife. You don't need all those plenty things that she's trying to do, thinking that that's what you want. So what would you advise a man to do to communicate his feelings without feeling less of himself?
Okay, so I feel every man should be intentional about communication. Right, be very, very intentional about communication.
Okay.
And know the right time to talk to your wife. All right. So there are moments when, you know, there's this notion men shy away or run away from heart-to-heart talks. when you want to wake him up from bed in the middle of the night and have a heart-to-heart talk with him, and men will try to run away from it. But no, I think it's something very healthy, something that's really been helping my marriage. And so we usually have that, my wife and I. Sometimes I initiate, but I think she does initiation more, but we're able to, have that conversation whereby I can articulate exactly what I want, what I expect, from her and all that. And for me, I think it shouldn't be too burdensome. We shouldn't expect too much from her. For instance, you grow up in a home where you don't do anything at home, like you don't even scrub the bathhouse or anything. I mean, you should come to that compromise where you can probably take up the scrubbing brush and do that for her. And so in all this, I think communication is the most important thing. Spend time, plan trips, take her away from all this hard stuff. Plan at least every year, cry if you go on one trip. It's cool, where you can separate yourself, have good time, and make her feel loved. Women give back what you give to them. All right. So you expect her to respect you, but you don't respect her. You shouldn't expect that. We expect her to love you, but you're not loving her. You don't expect that. You expect her, to be gentle with you and talk gentle with you, but you don't do that. They'll give you back what you give to them. And one thing I also realized in my marriage is that, especially when you really want to have a good time in bed and stuff like that, you need to prepare. You need to, women think a lot. They have so many things in their minds. Their wives are just touching everywhere.
Yeah.
So you need to calm her down, control it. I mean, keep her, control like that. Keep her, in a good spirit, in a good mood. Especially now that we have a lot of career women. She goes to work, and I mean, there are so many things, battling with her and all that. Yeah. So keep her calm, keep her cool. Find a nice time.
I like what I'm hearing.
Find a nice time on communicating with her. If you're a man and you find it very difficult to say sorry, your wife loves ice cream, you guys are fighting, buy an ice cream for her. Buy the I mean, even if it's left with your last penny, buy it for her, because then you get her attention. Then she'll be like, oh, my husband thinks about me. Once you make her feel secured, you make her feel her mind, you put her mind to rest. I mean, she'll listen to you, and yeah, it's not difficult learning these things, but gradually, we'll all get there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So when Victor was talking, something just came to mind that, you see, typical man. When we are talking about what the woman should do to help you, you are literally looking at what you can do to help.
I know.
You see, and that's
It's ingrained.
Yes, the man is literally always looking at what to do. You see, you're buying ice cream just to be able to find a way of.
We like ice cream.
So, but my take on this is, most men were created to figure things out. Like we like to figure things. We make a lot of mistakes before we realize that the advice you are giving us is good. So maybe you have given us an advice today. We go on and on and on and on and on in our own way, but literally we come back and do what you were telling us in a different way. But when you find, because we are very heady, we literally are doing things that are coming to our mind. You have seen the emotional aspect, you've done a lot of thinking, even thought beyond the scope the man is thinking, looking at the people around him. You understand?
Yeah.
So when you advise a guy and he hits the barrier, he hits the block, don't tell him I told you so.
What should we say?
I told you so is very, very harsh on a man. And
Accusative,
it's literally like, okay.
Oh, you are.
But you can be consistent in your advice. You can still draw him closer to you and literally tell him that, oh, Charlie, you see how we went about it didn't work, but how about looking at it in this way, the way I told you, or how you see, it's always about how you communicate to the guy. I've already mentioned that we are not that hard talkers. We literally want to be calmed down, accept what we did wrong, and then find a way of redirecting us. But if it is about, hey, I told you, you didn't do it this way, you are a very stubborn guy. That one, you literally not make the guy listen to the next thing you are saying, because you have already judged him that on TA and all that. So I think that the woman should always be consistent, but not judgmental. Just be consistent in trying to let him know what you are literally want. You want him to speak up. You want him to tell you his mind, and be consistent. But do not say, yesterday I told us to sit and have this meeting. We didn't have this meeting. You see the results because we didn't talk about it. It has brought about this one. No, literally you break him again.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you so much. Thank you so much for making time to sit with us. We have been on Let's Keep It With Our Boy Miss Girl 101, and we have been talking to Victor Abiano and Samuel Ofori Yeboah on what men really want from women. And 3 points I am taking away, I hope you made your notes too, is that men want to be accepted. First, accept them for who they are before you try to change them into who you want them to be, because even in accepting them for who they are, you would get to know them better, and you might even see some value in who they are currently than to change them into a perfectly new person in your mind's eye. And then make men feel like men. And every man and how they think a man is, their perception of who a man is or what makes a man a man. So get to know what to him makes a man, and let him feel like that man all the time. And the third point I am taking away is that men want you to still look attractive even after they bag you or you bag them, whichever it is. Thank you so much, gentlemen. I'd like to acknowledge our sponsors once again before I ask you if you have any final words. Original Borai GH. Borai makes my clothes. What I'm wearing today is made by Borai GH. Beauty within Haven for your hair needs. Picture Magic, as the name suggests. Fragrances and more GH. Volta Mats, fresh gluten-free snacks and fish, everything healthy. Be Nice Catering Services, their restaurant in Tema Community 5. Apavon Concepts. If you see my flyers, you understand what I'm talking about. Branding Solutions. Triple Tree GH, healthy, beautiful customized chocolates. Wild West African, or your tech savvy videos, they've got you covered. Pounds World, if you want to make a gift for anybody, contact Pounds World. They will do it well for you. And of course, M-Touch Artistry, makeup for all occasions, jewelry events, any event of your choice. They'll cover you and plan it for you perfectly. And of course, Juice World, healthy juices, local juices for all occasions, for your snacks, for your kids, everything. I mean, if you want the woman to listen to you, buy her some juice as well. Okay, I had the comments before you sign off. I had this comments where the guys were saying that, a lady was saying that men want a submissive woman. Quickly, yes or no from both of you?
Men want a supportive woman.
A submissive.
No, we don't want, you see, it depends on how everybody defines a submission. Some people feel,
Not a master.
Yeah, men don't really want that.
Okay.
We want a supportive woman.
Okay.
Someone who is in support. You see, and that Sammy said that earlier. I mean, women are very powerful. Even if the man is, you don't agree with the way he thinks or his reasoning, make him feel you support him. All right, and in that support, he will listen to you.
Okay.
You know, men want someone who, she'll say, Charlie, this is your idea. Even if the idea is stupid, make him feel that he has the most brilliant idea, you know, and give him that support. And in helping him fine tune, you realize that at the end of the day, you've even changed the whole scope, you know. So I don't think men really want submissive, where, you cannot really express your views and, you know, tell me what's on your mind and be intellectual about it. Men want someone who probably would, you know, be a cheerleader. Yes, we want cheerleaders. We want support. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that's that.
Okay, Samuel.
If you go into the Bible, God said it is not good for a man to be alone. I will make for him a helpmate. In other versions of the Bible, they say that I will make a suitable helper. She fits. Like if you are playing a Lego, you know what fits into which object. You are a suitable helper. So you are supposed to help support the man lead. The first responsibility the woman was given is to be a helpmate. The first responsibility the man was given is to work. When he was created, they first told him to work. But when the woman was created, they told her to help the guy. So helping him is not being, if you are helping somebody and you know that the person says bend down or sleep on the floor and let me step on you, that's not help. That's abuse. Submissiveness comes in so many ways. So that's what Victor was saying, that if you are submitting, you should know what actually is called submission. You shouldn't go and be slapped and be beaten and call that as submission. Submit to the person that you trust, that is driving your family. Because if you give him the chance to lead and you are being the suitable helper, the distinction between submission and help might not be that wide. It might be the same. You are helping, you are not killing yourself, you are not dying because you are a helper. Definitely, when there is somebody in a friendship and he's helping you do something, even at work, somebody is helping you do something, and the person is doing beyond what he's supposed to. Everybody knows. You understand? So the woman should just understand the fact that she's a suitable helper, help the leader drive the family. And then when submission is misquoted, we know sometimes submission goes to the extent of abuse. We stop it, but then make sure that you are being a suitable helper.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Eddie Boat is saying it's our local definition for submission. That is the problem. We don't want the master-servant relationship. We hear you, bosses, and we have.
Vivian, let me just add on submission. Sure. You know, I think we should actually look at the word submit, right? Submit. I mean, in university during your thesis, right? You submitted your project work and all that. Yeah. Submission is basically presenting your ideology, presenting your ideas to someone, probably someone of higher authority. It doesn't mean being a slave to the person. All right. Submitting means, presenting. It says submit or be submissive to your husband. So present to your husband. Present ideas. Present what you think to him. And that comes with the helping bit, where you are presenting, what you feel should be it. So I think that whole notion of being a master slave thing should be erased.
Okay, thank you. Any final words before we go? We've taken a lot of your time.
I think for ladies, I think we've spoken a lot to the men, but for beautiful women on this call right now, you see, it doesn't take much to win a man. It doesn't take much to get a man's attention and all that. I think we should stop, fighting too hard, and as Sammy said earlier on, play our roles, play our part. Women are the soft ones. Women are the ones that gives us comfort and all that. And once we the men feel that from you, I mean, it's good to go. There have been so many great men who have been brought down by women, and these women were not fighting for authority or for anything. They're just working in the scenes, behind the scenes and all that, or in the shadows, and they were able to, take down great men. And so let your man feel good. See how Delilah made Samson feel, Yes, just let him feel okay. Let him feel peace of mind. If you know very well that this topic you're going to raise is going to, bring a heated argument, whereas during the week your husband who's having challenges at work and all that, I mean, don't put him through that stress. Just give him the peace of mind that he needs, and I think he'll be very fine.
Yeah, sure. I have this philosophy that don't argue or fight when your partner is not in your face, like when you can't see them, to even detect who is around them or not. don't bring up the fight. Yeah. Samuel, any final words before you leave? Hello, Samuel. I think we've lost Samuel. Okay, so I'd like to say thank you all so much for joining us tonight. In October, we'll bring you what women really want from men. Till then, please take care and enjoy your evening. Bye for now.
See ya. Bye.